Guys, when I tell you it has been a crazy week, I'm not kidding. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic start of your September. And if you're starting back at school, welcome back to school. As you can tell, I'm wearing a Humber shirt because I'm officially a Humber College student. And I just feel like I need to represent now for my school. So, this week has been so crazy and I want to share with you guys just all the exciting things that have happened and how I've been trying to stay grounded in the Lord during this big transition of my life, because I feel like that's super important and shouldn't be dismissed. So let's get right into it. Okay, so basically how it's gonna work for me going forward at school is I'll be there Monday, roughly, from maybe probably like 10ish to, I don't even know when my class ends, honestly. Sometime it ends at some point. Pretty sure like it can't go past, was it 2 or 3? I don't even know yet. But I'll be at school like Monday to Friday, as early as I get dropped off and as quickly as I can get picked up, because right now I don't have a car. I will have a car, but I'm relying on people to pick me up and drop me off, so I'm kind of just bumming around school because I don't have that many assignments yet, but I will. I am guaranteed that I will have assignments to do. I have an asynchronous course which is already giving me the most amount of work that I have seen so far, so that'll be exciting. Anyhow, I have all the time in the world at this school. I go to Humber North and it's a huge campus. I've been getting 10,000 plus steps a day, and I'm a person that always walks around with headphones in, at least one, just because I need to have like background noise. Makes me feel like the main character. So I've been playing. So the first thing I do basically to kind of stay grounded and to my neighbor's weed whacking right outside this window. So basically the first way that I implement, because I have all this time and I'm walking around a lot, my classes are literally from this point of the building to this point of the building, so I have to go like this to get to here. I walk a lot, and while I'm walking I have my worship playlist playing, so I'm gonna show you guys just what that looks like on Spotify here. A few songs, if you actually want to see the video where I did my top 5 favorite Christian songs right now, you can check it out over here, and it'll be linked in the top and in the description down below. But a few of my favorite songs at the moment are Miracle Child by Brandon Lake is a really good one. So Miracle Child by Brandon Lake, That's the Thing About Praise by Benjamin William Hastings, that's such a long name. Confidence by Sanctus Real. Anything by CeCe Winans, to be honest, like her version of Goodness of God, Worthy of It All, I Have a Savior, great songs. The Prodigal by Josiah Queen, How Many Times by the Newsboys. The Newsboys were like so poppin' when I was younger. I enjoy those songs a lot, and if I'm not listening to my worship playlist, I'm listening to, at the moment, this podcast, which is Holy and Hormonal by Kim Caputo. Basically, she's talking about all the phases of a woman's cycle and how you can relate these things to how we were created, who created us, and how to treat our bodies like the temple that they are. So I find that a really interesting concept, because I've never seen, especially in the church, anybody talk about women's issues. I feel like it's typically ignored and typically a thing to be kind of like quiet, hush hush, ashamed about, but I really enjoy how she's so vocal about it and she's just like talking about it. It's so simple. I really enjoy that. So definitely check that out if you need a new podcast to listen to or a playlist. I'll also link my playlist. I just want to make it clear really quick before we continue. I'm not telling you guys that this is something you have to do any of these things or anything that you have to do to grow your relationship with God. I'm saying personally, this is how I've realized a big change in my routine after doing these things or continuing to do these things. So I just wanted to share that with you. You're more than welcome to try it, but this is by no means a how-to. The next thing I like to do, of course, is got a stack of books here that we're gonna go through. But right now, we're gonna go through, oh no, don't fall, the Bible. It is the most important book I own. So, at the moment, my friend made a devotional, and this is how I'm going through my Bible. So, she gave a devotional, and I'll just briefly read. So it's a 5-week Bible reading and journaling plan on anxiety. So, if you're not familiar, I am probably one of the most tightly wound people I know. And reading about what the Bible says about like anxiety and being like stressed and all stuff like that, it's actually helped a lot. I mean, it's not an overnight thing that's gonna, just disappear in 2 pages, but it's really nice to read things like Isaiah 41:10 that are encouraging and comforting in times of anxiety and stress. And then there's reflection questions, and the reflection questions I have been logging in this journal here. I found a sticker that matched it, and it didn't even come with it. And then the back, I also found that. I was like, oh. So pretty much in this book, yeah, so this was like my church notes. So like I was sitting in a service and I took notes. This was from February on the sermon that my pastor was preaching about. He was preaching about how God creates, right? And then so forth. After going through some sermons, by bringing my notebook to church, I decided to take notes after the service and re-listen to the service at another time, pause if I had to take notes, so I was more present in the actual service, and then later on taking notes to not examine, but just really try to understand, search up terms, stuff like that, because I wanted to make sure I was getting the most out of my experience, my time at church. Before I started the anxiety plan that my friend made, I was reading the book of Mark on my own. I literally just read from chapters 1 to the end. That's a perfect book to start with because it tells the accounts of Jesus. It tells the life of Jesus from pretty much roughly beginning to end and all the cool things he did in between. So I read that, and I had never read the book of Mark before. I didn't realize that, but it was really cool. It was interesting to see all these things that Jesus did, and the one thing that really stuck out for me from this whole time reading the book of Mark was Jesus has the authority. That was my reflection after every chapter, among other things, but that was the one constant throughout every chapter, was Jesus has the authority. And I was just like, man, that's cool. So yeah, definitely reading my Bible keeps me in touch with God, hearing God, and understanding more so his character and why things happen the way that they do, and just there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn in here. 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay, another thing that I've been doing, I got this for my birthday from a friend. Actually, the next 2 things I got from my friends' birthday gifts. This daily gratitude journal. So I've been using it for quite a while, since my birthday. So this is how much I've used so far. I've been doing it every night, but my friend recommended me to use it in the... No, I've been doing it at night. She recommended me to use it during the day, so then I can kind of look back on it during the day, and I can look back on it during the day and just remember all the things that I'm grateful for, and I can kind of hold on to that. So some of the prompts, this is an empty page, but some of the prompts are, today I'm grateful for, and then there's 3 things. As I reflect on yesterday, what went well and what goals did I accomplish? Today's self-care goals are also 3, and then affirmations I'm declaring today. So when it comes to the affirmations, some things that I've been putting down, because affirmations are always fun to talk about with Christians, because most people are like affirming whatever it is that they want to affirm, but I think it's important to kind of redirect it back to our faith. So there was one thing I heard where it said, I think it was a post on Pinterest, but it said, God hears me, God equips me, God restores me. That was a cool thing to write down. And some stuff is just like flat out a song that I, hear. Songs that I hear. Actually, this one's Matthew 6:27. Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? This one I quoted Miracle Child by Brandon Lake. I've got breath in this body and hope in these scars. If I counted my blessings, they'd rival the stars. So just stuff like that. This is literally the only time I have in the day to myself now because I'm in school. So I'm totally gonna take advantage of this, and when this runs out, I think I'm gonna try a different format, just because I want to try a bunch of different formats, see which one is my favorite. But this is definitely something to look into. That I've been doing when I have the time is reading books from Christian authors. So this is The Anxiety Opportunity by Curtis Chang. Yes, it is Curtis Chang. And basically he was a pastor, and he had this mental breakdown, and he was going through it. So he obviously suffers from anxiety, and he talks about his experience as a Christian, as a pastor, as a father and husband, with anxiety. So it says flat out on the back, what if instead of battling anxiety, we saw it as a profound new way to relate to Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and those we love? So I'm not that far in. I think I'm 66 pages in, right? And he talks so far about, the bodily feeling of anxiety, naming your anxiety, Stockholm syndrome, shame of anxiety, hijacking of anxiety, like blueprint versus the architect. That is one thing that really got me, was he's speaking in this book about following how we like to follow the blueprint rather than the architect. So the blueprint being the life that we want, and the architect being Jesus, right? So we're constantly asking Jesus for the life that we want and things that we want. We're asking him to alleviate our stress and alleviate our money problems and our relationship problems, but we're never taking the time to actually get to know him and have a relationship with him. And the way that he put it was, in architectural terms, was we're looking at the blueprint and we just want to focus on the blueprint without consulting the architect, because as Christians we do believe that Jesus is the author of our story. He's the architect of our blueprint and all these things. So before we focus so much on the outcome, we need to look back on the person who's making things happen, right? And I really like that so far, and I'm excited to finish this book because I have so many more books on my shelf to finish. If you guys have me on Goodreads, go check out my to read list. It's crazy, and that's not even all the books that I have to read, because I just don't want to add them all onto my Goodreads, because then it's just gonna load up. It's crazy. But yeah, that's what I've been reading lately. So another thing that I've been doing is, the first thing in the morning, I'm going to show you guys a screenshot or a screen video of my phone, what it looks like, and the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. Basically, I made a widget of the verse of the day for the Bible app, the YouVersion Bible app. I've been using this app since I was probably in grade 6. Yeah. And I used to have it on my iPad, and I have it on my phone. It is the best thing to wake up to, personally. I don't get notifications because I'm trying to limit as many notifications as I can, but it's the first thing that pops up when I open my home screen. So I tap on that, I read my verse of the day, I see the different translations and the different art that it comes up in if I ever want to save some of the art. I'm actually not sure how to save the art, so if you know how to save art on YouVersion, just comment below and let me know, because I'm not sure. Otherwise, after I check that out, I cultivate a rhythm of reflection, which basically means I listen to like a minute or two video, I continue, and it lets me it gives me time to pray, it gives me time to reflect, to write my own prayer if I want to type in my own prayers. Otherwise it gives you pre-made ones, and it tells you to take as much time as you need to be in the presence of God before you get into your day, and that's pretty cool. So the fact that they have that set up is perfect for lazy people like me, who just want something quick right when they wake up and don't really feel like cracking open their Bible at 6 o'clock in the morning, because that's when I have to get up. So actually earlier now. That is another really great way that I can implement my faith into my everyday. Another thing that's good for is adding your friends on this app. I have a bunch of my friends from church, and we can see each other's activities, so we can see each other's saved Bible verses, if we make any notes, any prayers if we want to add it like to public, but most of them are private. So yeah, we can kind of like, it's like Instagram for the Bible. You can see each other's like recently bookmarked, and I know one of my friends reads her Bible every day, so there's like 20 bookmarks in one day, and I'm like, yes, go. And like she's got so many. So that's just funny just to see that. And you can actually like ask your friends if you guys are in the same part of the Bible reading together. You can be like, hey, like I read, for example, I was reading Mark. So if one of my friends was reading the same book, I could be like, hey, which she was, I could be like, hey, like, you know, I read chapter 3 and I had a question, like, what do you think this meant? Like, let's talk about that. Like, what do you interpret this as? Because here's what I thought it was. And it's just a really good way to start a conversation, personally. So yeah, I've been having that on my phone for quite a while, and I'm not going to delete it anytime soon. So if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how I implement my faith into my everyday. Again, this isn't a how-to, this isn't a you need to do this, it says to do this in the Bible. You don't need to listen to me, you need to listen to Jesus. So take this as you will, take this with a grain of salt. These are just the things that I like to do in my everyday. Another thing I like to do, of course, is start and end every day by praying. I think that's a really nice way to connect and to kind of bring my hopes of the day to Jesus at the beginning of the day, and take my worries to him at the end, and thank him for the day that I've had. So yeah, if any of these ever change, and if I ever find any more cool ways of implementing my faith into my routine, I will definitely make a part 2. And until then, if you guys have a fantastic day, have a fantastic month, and I'll see you guys next week. Vi voglio tanto bene. Ciao.